So it all kind of started with this story that my mother told me when I was a little kid. The struggle that her and my dad had trying to have a kid in the first place. And basically what happened was there was a complication with my mom, and she really couldn't get pregnant. And she finally found a doctor that figured out what the issue was. Here I come 9 months later. So as the story progresses, when I was 2 years old, my mom came into my bedroom, and she said that I was blue in the face, and she started freaking out. She thought, you know, she was like, what's going on with my baby? What's going on with my baby? And come to find out, they had to rush me to the hospital, and I was suffering from something called hyponatremia. And what hyponatremia is when you lose all the salt in your body. And I said to myself, you know, I'm kind of on borrowed time here. It took 16 years for them to have me. And 2 years later, I almost died from hyponatremia. And so I'm here for a reason. And that's where my motivation and drive come from, because I want to make the best out of my life as I possibly can. Cleaned coffee pots for like 6-7 months, and finally I was like, I can't do this. So this position opened up at the Sudden Infant Death Syndrome Center in the Children's Hospital. And basically what it was planning fundraising events for families who've lost babies to sudden infant death syndrome. After about 1.5 years in that position, I landed a really awesome fundraising event that Z100, one of the biggest radio stations in New York City, sponsored. And so I really needed awesome marketing materials to make that event pop and be the biggest one yet. And so I went to my buddy Jerry Camerata, and I sat with him on a Sunday morning, and he helped me. He was a graphic designer, so he kind of showed me how the process is, and he was showing me how to design it. And we actually designed the whole invitation and flyer and all the marketing materials right then and there on that Sunday morning. And I remember leaving and going, wow, I didn't even know what graphic design was. And I was like, that was awesome. Like, I really need to figure out how I can start to do that for myself and start to create my own marketing materials. So I went back and I bought the Photoshop program and literally self-taught myself how to design on Photoshop. And I remember I would come home from work and I would be so psyched to open up the laptop and get started. I remember I was living in this little tiny apartment, and I didn't even have like a couch. Like, I had this little bar with these little bar stools. And I remember staying up till like 4 or 5 in the morning. My back would kill me on this bar stool. And I would just design and design and design. I didn't even have a mouse. I used my finger. I wanted to be unique. And so I called the company Unique Designz. And again, it was just a hobby. It was my 5th year as a special event director. It was in December, right around Christmas. And she calls me in the office and she says, you know, come January 1st, that position as a event director is going to be absorbed. So you have 2 options. You can stay here and we'll put you as an administrative secretary again, or you could leave. So I said, you know what? Here's my entrepreneurial spirit calling, and I just said, I'm gonna leave. The next year that I did Unique Designz by itself, and I just did that, I made over $250,000. It just felt like one opportunity kept falling on my lap after the other. Like Russell Brunson, I worked very close with him. I had the opportunity to work with John Bon Jovi on 2 of his tours. So when he went on tour, at every concert, he would promote the other different organizations and stuff that he is part of and created. And that was like the turning point of the business. I love being an entrepreneur, but nothing is guaranteed. And that was what I struggled with a lot. I was around 6 years old. And it was 1986, and my parents signed me up for like a local soccer team, and I hated it. It was terrible. There was like 300-400 people at this game, and I was on my wit's end. I wanted to quit, and I looked over to the sideline, and out of the 400 people, the only person I saw was my dad. And he was like, go, go, get the ball, get the ball. And I never forget that. And I ran like hell to go and chase that ball. And I never scored a goal in my life. And that day, I scored my first goal. And that was the turning point. That was when I said, no matter what you go out to do in your life, as long as you never give up and you have that motivating drive within you, the success is endless. That little silly story is what gets me up in the morning and makes me do and go 100% for my clients on a daily basis. The passion is watching businesses come to me and say, oh, I'm really struggling with my marketing materials, you know, can you help me out? And then working for them and taking what they had, taking their concept and just taking it to the whole next level and watching them prosper from it. To watch that process, that's the driving force behind Unique Designz.
Hey, this is Russell Brunson from .comsecrets.com. And when I first met Henry, he'd done a lot of graphic design for kind of other industries. I know he'd worked with Bon Jovi and some other just amazing people, and I really liked his style. And so I wanted to test him out on a project that was very relevant to us, internet marketers. And so I had him do a bunch of infographics around my book launch, which turned out amazing and have been huge sources of traffic and interest for my book. He's an amazing designer. He works quick. He gets things done and turned around in a very short period of time, which is something that's ideal for me because we're always moving forward as fast as we can. And if you guys have a chance to work with him, definitely he is amazing designer. He's great at architecting funnels, and he's someone that I recommend and that we use, and I hope that you guys have a chance to use him as well.
I was having trouble competing against the large art centers, big box stores. Now I'm able to market and advertise like a much bigger store, and I have a much better presence in the industry.
Oh my God, Henry, I just got your email with the cover for my mom's book, and we are freaking so over the moon excited. Like, I sent it to a printing company, and it just came back like, just okay. But when I sent it to you, I know it was really last minute. You put that thing together. You took my words. You made it come to life. The pictures just jumped off the page. You made it feel exactly the way that me and my mom wanted that book cover to feel. It gave my stepdad the justice that it needed. I am so excited about this cover. I feel like the cover now sells the whole book, and they haven't even read the book yet. And that was the whole point. I so from the bottom of my heart, thank you, and cannot wait to use you for my book coming up in the next 2 months as well. So you have my business for life. Trust me. And to knock it out the ball field for the first project that I've ever had you do for me, oh, this is a no-brainer. For sure, I need you as a part of my brand.